everybody, and welcome back to What is Your Favorite Color? Woo! This is probably going to be our very last episode unless Biscuit picks up next year.
Yeah.
It will not be with us. If it does get picked up, we hope you like who it's with. But this is our very last episode, roundabout, with the German teacher for our school, Herr Jarmulowicz. And that's just the perfect German name. He did
Polish.
live. It's
Okay,
Polish.
so
Pardon me. You did live in Germany, right?
A couple of years, yeah.
He lived in Germany for a couple years, so that's very, very cool. Little fun fact.
what do we think about Germany? How do we feel about Germany? Are they a friend of the show?
Of the show?
Yeah.
Sure.
We have many
Of
enemies
you?
the
Are they a
show.
friend of you?
Absolutely. Germany is very open. Yes, they're very accepting of most people.
Yeah, no, we have many enemies of the show.
Yeah.
AI.
Yeah.
Gravity.
Gravity. Yeah,
Well,
we'll say
now
that. We'll add that
Gravity-
to the list. We'll put that on there. We'll
Well-
send that to the board.
We kind of forgot. It's been like a week. Now I actually want to remember one. Because they were kind of funny.
It's Okay, let me think.
Administrators that don't... Jimmy Fallon, but not his ice cream.
Yes.
The
We love his ice cream.
administrators that don't pay their teachers enough.
Yes. Wait, how many is that? 3? AI, Jimmy Fallon, teachers not getting paid.
The camera that we used.
The camera.
We're using a phone right now.
Yeah.
We'll think of them later.
Yeah, we'll think there were 7.
We're like Martin Luther's nailing the
The thesis.
100 thesis, not 99.
Yeah.
Because we're special.
1 extra thesis.
One extra one. Okay. So, I think we should get started with actually interviewing instead of just meandering.
Yes, indeed.
So, what is your favorite color?
Blue. I also like green.
Very popular answer. A lot of people say I'm blue.
Yeah,
Nature.
a lot of people
Blue
say
and green.
blue green is nice.
You say nature blue and green? Where?
The sky is blue. And
Oh, okay, I
the
didn't-
planet's predominantly green.
Oh,
Good
yeah.
stuff.
I didn't take the sky into account.
Yeah.
I was
I
thinking
thought-
about water.
That's what I was thinking. I was like,
It's
where?
just a reflection of the sky.
We don't got water.
I mean, got me there.
Let's just say. Next question. What was the inspiration for you teaching? Did you always want to teach, or was there something that pushed you to teach?
Teaching is my 5th or 6th career at this point.
Oh.
And I kind of enjoyed it when I dabbled in it a little bit, and then did the business route and traveled and all this kind of stuff, and then was working on Wall Street on 9/11, and after we got laid off, I decided I'd do something that had more soul. Got into teaching.
Yeah. So what were your other careers? You said business and Wall Street.
Let's see, out of college, I graduated poli-sci German double major,
Oh, cool.
worked in packaging with the new Nutritional Label Act. So if you ever look at your food packages, all the black and white stuff there,
Yeah.
I was in charge of putting that on all the packages for Sunshine Biscuit Company, which made cheeses, but they don't exist anymore.
Oh.
And I sold everything, moved to Poland, and I taught English and German over there, and started my own consulting business, translating business. Got an MBA while I was over there. Then I started selling hand tools for a company from back home in Massachusetts, and came back here, and that didn't pan out, so I ended up doing IT project management on Wall Street, and realized it just wasn't me. So, after sort of a life-changing events there, I changed my life.
Yeah.
You said
I
you
like that.
worked on Wall Street during 9/11?
Yeah, I was in World Trade 1 on 9/11.
Wow.
So,
This dude been through a million lifetimes in one. That's a lot.
That's cool. Though. I always appreciate hearing people that have lived many different lives, because
I finally found a career I enjoy. So I've been
That's good.
doing it since 2005. I took 3-4 years off. I was going to change careers, and then sort of my life all changed, and I ended up down here and got back into teaching.
yeah. Look at this.
Well, at least you dipped your toes in everything before you knew.
Yeah, that's the way. All right. So
Sometimes I dipped them in lava, but that's all right.
a couple things.
Yeah.
So is Wall Street? Are they an enemy of the show, or is that we're just
They're
neutral?
an
with them?
enemy of anybody that isn't going to make them money. So,
Wow.
So-
if you have no fiscal advantage for them, yeah, they're not a friend.
So we're an enemy of them.
Yeah. So we're.
So does that make them enemies of us? I mean,
Who's to say?
Are you worth anything to them?
well, that's what I'm saying. We're enemies to them, but are they enemies to us?
Can they make any money off of you?
I'm nonplussed about Wall Street.
I kind of don't care what
Yeah.
a bunch of like 40-year-old finance bros say about me, or
Are they
like
bros if
value
they're
my worth.
40? I feel like at a certain age you stop being a bro.
In their mind, they
Still
still
bros.
live through
It's
their
just a
college
bro
years.
mindset.
It's all cronyism and who you know and how you can squeeze 6 cents out of a nickel.
Oh,
You know, if it costs your grandmother her life, then that's okay too.
wow. So
It's pretty
grandmas.
soulless.
Oh,
So maybe they are enemies.
I think they are enemies of the show because we like grandmas.
Yeah, and we like people's souls, and
We
we
do
don't
like-
we don't want to suck them out of our grandma's body.
We do like sauce. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
doing a lot of groundbreaking stuff today.
we're better than Wall Street, guys.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Us
Okay.
and Wall Street in a fight, we could take them. All of them.
Well, they are very much obsessed with their penthouse and like built-in gyms.
They sit down a lot, don't they? So they probably don't have like good legs or knees.
How do you think?
Do you
You were with them.
talk about? Yeah.
Do you
Let's
think-
get into this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
In our
I'm just
heads,
gonna
we
say-
can
They're
eat
not
them.
my people.
All right. Okay. So, how have going back to the future? How have students changed since the 19 to that
This is
COVID-19
2005.
Pandemic, well, when I had actually was getting out of teaching to change careers, but teaching for before that, I'd say the biggest thing is apathy and lack of curiosity and diminished social skills
Hmm.
and grit. Understanding here's a problem that I need to solve and trying to solve it instead of waiting for someone else to explain it in great detail so that you have to choose A or B.
Hmm.
Experimenting and critical thinking skills diminished gradually over the years. Not just
Yeah.
COVID-19, but before that, been a gradual diminishment, in my opinion.
Do you think that's why a lot of students these days are like so kind of disrespectful and they like have no thoughts about anything about their schooling?
I think those are two separate issues. I think the disrespect is a learned behavior from home, culturally. That's been building and growing over the decades. The lack of respect for an education and for educators and the whole idea of bettering yourself intellectually. And you know, what you learn at home is what you bring to school. So if the kids are learning that be disrespectful in school from home, then that's what they're going to bring to school. And parents, I find a lot of times, are less supportive of working together to support their children's development to young adults as opposed to being antagonistic towards education and society.
Very interesting.
Mm.
A lot of home lives being talked about.
Yeah.
Well,
Maybe-
can you separate the two in a public school setting?
No, not really. I guess not.
Everybody brings life into school every day.
Well, school does seem dead the most of the time. Hey guys, technical difficulties. Not the Wolf of Wall
Wolf of
Street.
Wall Street. Have you seen Wolf of Wall Street?
Who, me?
Me?
Both of you, I guess.
I may get a point not to see it.
Yeah, no, that was like working there. I lived it.
You didn't want to revisit that experience. I get that. You know, people talk about it like it's the best movie ever. It's really long. Like, at a certain point, I was like, when is this over? This is just like a lot.
I was told that when I did a funny haha impression, it was like a Harley Quinn thing, and people said I sounded like Margot Robbie in Wolf of Wall
The Wolf
Street.
of Wall Street. Margot Robbie, when she's like an American in movies, that's kind of her voice. It's just kind of Harley Quinn. They love to make her like a very psychologically
accent.
troubled woman.
I love her.
I love Margot Robbie.
There
Friend of the
is a
show.
squirrel.
I just had to show it, yeah. Where is it? I can't. Oh, I see it. The squirrels here are kind of fat at this park. That one's not. But there's some fat squirrels in this park,
It
and
was
I'm a
kind
big
of
fan.
y'all couldn't see it. It was like 10 feet away from behind the camera. It was really funny. Y'all should have seen it.
Yeah.
Why didn't y'all turn around?
I didn't. Yeah, that's really an issue
What's wrong with
with.
y'all? Anyways, we've probably been on to question 3.
They have.
We did a lot of funny ha-has. Y'all missed it. So sad. Anyways.
Yeah, it's only it's a DVD exclusive. You can pay extra like $29.99, and then we'll send you a DVD.
We'll put the Venmo on screen if you want to see that.
Yeah.
Anyways, how have students changed since the COVID-19 pandemic?
Since the pandemic, I'd say more apathy, less understanding they're actually socially interacting with humans instead of just a screen and two-dimensional digital images of people. So a lot of that social breakdown, I don't think it was just COVID-19. I think it's been a progression for decades as cell phones and everything else have become ubiquitous and replaced normal human interaction, learning processes as when people are younger. So it's
Well, do you personally believe that maybe the phones or the apathy is the reason for many students being disrespectful?
I think it's a learned behavior. They don't understand how to interact with people. When you just send a text to somebody, all the nonverbal communication is lost. 95% of our communication is nonverbal, facial expressions, reactions, everything else like that. So if you don't learn how people react to your words, you have no point of reference.
Yeah.
You say and do whatever, thinking it's, I shoot it off on a text. But in reality, it sometimes sucks. It annoys people.
Texting does suck, actually. I don't know if you guys know this. Texting is also an enemy of the show.
Enemy of the show, texting.
Okay, it's really not. I don't know. Talking in person is so much better.
Yeah.
All the time. Even calling is better because you're able to hear the person's tone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tone is so important, guys. Please don't ever lose tone. Learn about what tone is. Please. Anyways.
Thinking yes.
I don't know. Yeah, I think you're right about the texting. Texting is a downfall.
Well, just human interaction.
What is that?
I don't know. I mean, I hate to be that guy, but do I think texting should be an enemy of the show? No. I feel like it's done a lot for us. American media, obviously. Do I think there are some things that are lost when you're texting? Yes. But is that the reason why phone bad? Texting?
No, the reason why phone bad is because companies want to market off of
I was
you.
gonna say, I think it's mostly like the advertisement aspect of the
Yeah. But I mean,
phone
also,
experience.
you're becoming more disconnected the more connected you are.
Yeah, which is also kind of like, that's how they get you.
Yeah. That's how they get
Just
you.
the inherent design of the device.
Just like
Maybe not specifically texting, which
fun
texting is
colors.
part of that.
Fun
Yeah.
colors, little pictures.
Just little pictures. Oh, look at your pictures. Oh, come look at the pictures. Won't you? Please.
I feel like TV was the greatest thing we could have made, and then phones got made. I truthfully feel like TV was good. The TV, when it was originally in the 80s and 90s, it wasn't as overstimulating as it is now, and it wasn't chock full of only ads being pushed to you.
Yeah.
And I do think it is a lot better than social media, because you're not constantly being fed things to give you an instant dopamine rush. Like, you had to learn patience of when your show is coming on, or the show coming next week, but it was also entertaining. And there was also a lot of educational elements, especially from like PBS, Will You Be My Neighbor, those types of shows.
Will you be my neighbor?
I've been thinking about Mr. Rogers.
You-
I've been thinking about him.
And
I thought about him.
PBS.
I didn't say PBS. Didn't I? Please tell me I did.
Like PBS, that one PBS show.
That one PBS. Oh, what is it? What? I loved it. No. I do think that TV has gone downhill now to where it's just like nonsensical things to get you to. It's kind of gotten as bad as like brain rot on TV, and I'm
Yeah.
specifically thinking of those trashy shows where it's like Love Island or
Love Island is so
what's the other
garbage. I
one?
love
90
it.
Day Fiance.
All the reality shows.
All the reality shows. I think the Kardashians started it. I don't like them.
Well, I mean, it's like any technology. Like, you think about the early internet where it was kind of like pure, where like people have a lot of nostalgia for like early internet stuff because, it's like before any other big tech companies realized, hey, we can make people spend more time on this so we can capitalize on that. So it's just kind of like that with TV too. Before they realize that we can just capitalize on people's like primal emotions by like sparking outrage with content.
Yeah.
We'll be like, wow, look at all these stupid people on the show. I'm gonna watch this for 9 hours. I hate these people. Let me watch this some more. Like that's like the whole thing. Like, you know,
Yeah.
with the brain rots and the TV brain rots.
How do you feel about this? How do you feel about
What are we
TV?
thinking? Yeah.
Waste of time.
Wow. All right. Discredit
Yeah.
everything we just said.
Yeah. Get your face out the tube. That's what you're saying.
Right. Read a book.
Yeah.
Books are good.
Books are friends of the show. Is TV an enemy
Libraries
of
are
the show?
friends of the show. We love libraries.
Yeah, big fan of libraries. I love to walk around a library.
We love our library here. Okay.
I don't like to read. I just like to walk around the library.
You want to ask the next question? It's the digital or analog question. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Hey guys.
I
Okay.
can't hear, nerd.
Where is the line for analog and digital teaching for you? Do you think the advantages outweigh the drawbacks?
It's difficult. Growing up in an analog world, I recognize all the advantages of everything being digitized, the convenience of it, and the 24/7 access to it, and organization of it, and I function better in that. But I also grew up in the analog skill set of taking notes and thinking and processing visually, physically, interacting with the material that I was learning. Then I could digitize it. Whereas now there's that gap that's missing, I think, with a lot of students, that if it's digital, it's not real. Or they don't understand that that's a tool to process the information. And it's a big debate because does the brain function differently in a digital reality? So since I've been here, I've been trying to reintroduce actual physical note-taking in class. So students are interacting that way, providing paper copies of things, because a lot of students said, I learn better writing it on paper, or I'm better organized with paper, or I remember it better using paper. So sort of swinging the pendulum back a little bit the other way, instead of completely digitizing everything, reintroducing some of the tactile physical involvement with the education process. And you look at studies, the brain lights up when you take notes as opposed to when you take digital notes, the CAT scans and stuff. So it's...
I love little drawings on notes.
Yeah.
How past chemistry.
Doing little drawings. Yeah.
Like little funny things, and like big words and then small words.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't like filling notes,
Me neither. I
especially
feel
on
like, yeah.
paper. How do you feel about filling notes?
Yeah, is that...
Filling notes?
Like, you have notes, but like the teacher takes out words, so you're still
that's-
technically paying attention,
You're not.
but your
That's-
notes are not taken.
That's part of the softening of the American education system, where the students you're just being told what to put in there.
Yeah.
You're not thinking, you're not writing anything down, you're not summarizing a presentation, a lecture, or anything like that.
Yeah.
You're just going to write down what they tell you to write down, and regurgitate it on a test, forget it, and move on. And that's not learning, that's mimicking.
Yeah.
So there's no critical thinking skills involved, there's no thought process involved, there's no educating involved, it's just memorizing.
We don't like memorizing here. I mean, sometimes it's good.
Yeah, but the
Well, you need to
memorizing...
memorize things, but then how to apply them is where the thinking comes in.
Yeah.
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 And that next step is missing, I think, a lot in the education system now.
We've had this conversation a lot with teachers, but I like that you said it's mimicking, because I feel like that really describes it very well. Because you can memorize oh, this is what this does in the body, but it's like, well, why does it do that? And it's like, well, you only memorize a certain piece of information, so you can't really explain. You don't get the full concept
Right.
because you just memorize facts. You don't understand how it fully works.
And when
It's
you
like if you
understand how it fully works, you'll remember all those other facts.
Yeah, because it takes time. You have to think, and it's like you're building the idea in your brain to where it makes sense to you. I mean, that's what it feels like when you're actually learning. Like, if you work on a car, you're like, okay, well, they told me I need to do this to fix my tire. Well, why do I need to do that? How does a tire work? Like, what makes a tire be the way that it is? But, just like that. And I think that's really interesting.
Yeah. Because I always sucked at connecting dots. And give me a bunch of points of information and just tell me to regurgitate them, I'm going to forget them.
Yeah.
But learning how to connect all those dots to make a web of synapses in there, then I'll remember it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I try to get the students to do. That's critical thinking.
Yeah.
And a lot of students don't know how to do that.
I know a lot of students. It kind of makes me sad. Like, and I hate to be like snobby and say this, but when I've taken like standard classes, not anything against people that choose to take standard classes. It's high school. It's not that deep. You choose what you need to do for you.
Nobody cares.
But when I'm just taking like standard classes, it seems like a lot of students are discouraged when every once in a blue moon they get an assignment that requires that, and they're like, they just give up.
Mm-hmm.
And it like makes me sad. It's like, well, like, what are you gonna do?
Right. That's the lack of grit that I mentioned before.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, there's a challenge, an obstacle. All right, I'll quit before I try. And that's sad.
And it's kind of like the thing with like, I've thought about this a lot recently with like, because not to go on the Gen Z rant, but because Gen Z grew up in such a digital world, and also because of, you know, social events, everything is kind of like, nothing is genuine to us. Everything is drenched in 10 layers of irony.
Yeah.
And so there's a big attitude of apathy in general with our generation specifically. It's not just us, but it's very apparent with us. So it's like a lot of people have the attitude where like, oh, I'm not doing all that, ha ha ha, and it seems like it's all jokes, but these people genuinely feel this way. Like, they just don't care about anything. Like, it's just kind of like, you know, there's the jokes with Gen Z where they're like, I'm not reading all that, don't care, didn't ask, not that deep. And it seems like, oh, that's just memes. That comes from genuinely how people feel in a digital age, where it's like, nothing is real, the world's on fire, 3 companies control everything. So what am I to do but not care, because I can't fix it? Because if I do care, then I'll have to figure something out. And that's scary.
I feel like a lot of it
Interesting.
is really coping mechanisms that I think
yeah.
is so sad, because like, not to defend Gen Z or to defend this lack of caring, I fully think everybody should care. Everybody should care all the time.
Genuinely.
Maybe not too much to the point where you're caring about one sole thing, but you should care about your education and your relationships with people and the friendships you make and the respect that you give and get back. But the amount of things that have happened, like COVID, the effects of 9/11, living in America right now, a lot of things are happening all at once, and so many people don't know how to. They were so young that the way they learned to cope was turn it off.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I was saying.
Don't think about it. Subject yourself to distractions, like this, that, and the third. So when a challenge comes up that's smaller than not just a global pandemic, but it's smaller to the point where this person is expressing, like if it's a relationship, my friend is expressing that they don't like when I talk bad about them, or like I said something that hurt their feelings. Instead of actually caring and trying to change their ways, they go, I don't care, distract themselves.
Yeah.
I don't care, here's something to distract you that distracted me. Like, they move on so quickly without solving the problem.
Yeah.
A lot of people, and it does go back into the critical thinking, because they don't think through their actions. So many young people these days, especially now, going into college, they don't think through it. Gen Alpha,
Pray for y'all.
Gen Alpha are 13 now. The oldest are 13, and they are always the ones who, oh, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be an influencer, where I can sit on my butt all day and not do anything. I want to, they always have a screen in their face. They're always doing this, that, and the third. And the amount of brain rotted that they are. But then if you actually go up to them and be like an 8th grader, and you go up to them and be like, what's 5 plus 5? It's genuinely so sad. But also, it's the fact that they got everything. Now, another thing to go on to this is how people view, like, relationships in this generation.
Yeah.
Especially with, like, relationships take time, and they need to be built upon.
Yeah.
And the connections that you have with people is not always linear, it's not always the same, and the way that it was created to be marketed as is so sad. Like, you want a perfect couple that you can see on social media, that you can post your boyfriend or girlfriend, and you're the perfect couple. You want the perfect friendship. You want a perfect relationship with your parents. But you don't want to critically think of how to actually get that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean,
It'll take work.
Everything takes work, and they don't want to do any of the work.
Because work is scary. Because if you work, being vulnerable is scary. Caring is scary. especially now. I mean, it's just a bunch of factors that contribute to general apathy. It's a coping mechanism, just not caring, because if you do care,
Well,
then you feel
I see
powerless.
this bubble wrapping of generations now.
Yeah.
Where you don't learn how to fail. You don't learn how to be resilient. You don't learn how to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, learn your mistakes, and try again.
Sometimes I do feel like that's bouncing off of another generation, though. Like, you think about all the time of their parents, or if you become a parent, my child will never grow up the way I did. So you're wrapping your child, or you put your child in a little bubble to the point where you don't want anything to happen to them, and you only want sunshine and rainbows,
Well, yeah.
and you never allow your child to fail.
It's a combination of factors. Like a certain vice president once said,
Choice parents make.
Yeah.
I chose to let my kids learn,
Mhm.
figure it out. Hit your head, well, it looks like it hurt. Rub some dirt in it, kid, and move on.
Yeah.
yeah, like a certain vice president said, you think you just fell out of a coconut tree? You are I forgot what it is. You are like the combination of everything I don't even remember. You guys know what I'm
Wait,
talking about.
hold on, wait.
She's just saying you're affected by everything that came before you and everything around you.
Yeah, basically.
That informs
Product of
your
your
life.
environment.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a product of what you surround yourself with and what you were forced to be surrounded
Well, yeah, I mean, we can talk about the ills of the world all day and the woes,
Mhm.
and like, but even if you're just like, well, this is Gen Z's problem. Age generations aren't, again, nothing is
Yeah.
black and white. Like there's betweens and everything. So everybody's affected by everything, guys.
Yeah.
It's not
Anyways,
just us.
so we're
Yeah,
back into
anyways.
the podcast.
Yeah,
Hey,
less
guys.
dark topic.
Are you still there? Okay.
Yeah,
Are you still there?
who had to turn this off and take a break? Who had to go
What was-
stare at the wall for a little bit?
Yeah. Just like, we'll give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. That's all you
How
get.
do you feel about students that struggle to connect with your style of teaching, and how do you overcome it if they do struggle?
I try to reach out to them and offer them extra help. I can only support them as much as they're willing to put into it. Like anything else, you only get out what you put into it, and the students that put into it, I'll run through walls for them. Students that won't lift a finger to try to help themselves, I only have so much I can give. And the students that are going to try, I'll help them. The students that aren't, I can only do so much. You know, and coax and cajole and encourage, but if they just sit there and wait for me to do it for them, it's not going to happen. So
Yeah.
I'm okay with them failing if they choose to. It's their choice.
Nobody really feels these days. And that's kind of sad.
Guys, let's
Guys,
be sad.
American education kind of went downhill with No Child Left Behind. And that's a bold statement, and I stand by it. Honestly,
It accelerated with that, yeah.
Yeah,
it
wasn't
started
just
with that, and then it kind of got worse. Because now nobody fails, and you don't learn from your mistakes.
Yes, it's every child left behind now.
Yes.
No, we love education being privatized. No, we love it. We love it. Yes, we love. Yes, we're big fans. We are not big fans.
of standard testing that don't really.
We're a big fan of companies that profit off of things getting worse. We love it.
We're such big fans of like nobody being able to succeed anymore.
We're such big fans of convenience over quality. We love it.
Anyways, what is a piece of media?
Yeah. You like movies?
How do you really feel?
Anyways, back to actually what matters.
All this matters.
What is
Yeah.
it?
All that other stuff, just much malarkey.
Guys, this is kind of dark. We need something to pick us up
Yeah.
before we go back down. A little cosmic brownie before you like fully plummet. What is a piece of media that influenced your life at any point? Don't say anything sad.
Piece of media, books. Books is the media that I enjoy the most.
Any specific?
I like history books. I like science fiction. The reason I learned languages is I like history and getting first-person perspectives on how different cultures and people describe themselves and document themselves is fascinating. And you don't get it filtered by other translators or their culture or different languages. Getting it from the source is always much more interesting.
You don't have like one specific thing? It's just like an
No.
overarching.
All these notes and not one thing.
Oh, these are just notes for the question, guys.
No, I mean, books cover everything. If I want to cook, I open a cookbook. If I want to read about German history, I open a history book. If I want to read about science fiction,
Crack open Dune.
for example.
Let's get into Dune. Let's talk about Dune, guys.
I never saw Dune. And I don't wanna. I'm sorry. I don't like science fiction. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But you like those Hunger Games? You like them Hunger Games? You like your apocalyptic fiction?
That's different. That's
It's
Dystopian
different.
teenagers.
Yeah, you
okay.
like that?
That's becoming more and more not dystopian.
Yeah, you
the
like
more we go
that
through every day.
2000s boom of dystopian teen books?
Okay, I actually didn't like Divergent. So before you,
I thought Divergent was corny and played out. I did not like it.
I
was
still
not
think about
entertained.
the movie where she screamed the one meme scream.
Yeah. Sorry to the Divergent fans.
Sorry guys, Hunger Games better, and we all know it is.
Yeah.
If you could change one thing about the school system, what would you change?
About the school system.
About any school system, not just
All of
ours.
them.
All of them.
Well, in the U.S., I would say definitely pay the teachers an equitable salary for the education and effort we have to put in every day. Get the culture back to respecting education, the need for education.
Yes.
That part.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Put on a t-shirt, so.
And
We need 10% profits.
We're making a red bubble.
donate that to schools. Education shouldn't be a money-making adventure.
It shouldn't.
It's an investment in the future. And if anybody that ran a business well knew, you invest in future products to make it profitable later on.
Yeah.
So if you shortchange it now, you're not going to be as flexible and profitable later.
Yeah, maybe all people deserve quality education. Maybe that should be a universal thing. Mayhaps.
Maybe.
Crazy ideas today, guys.
Maybe.
Maybe people deserve good things.
Yeah.
Maybe not everything has to be oversaturated and privatized. And
Maybe not everything needs to be deep fried and like in 2 times speed.
yeah.
You ever
Hey,
think about that?
yeah. Sometimes you know what? Turn off the Wi-Fi. Turn off the YouTube.
Go read a
I
book.
Mm.
Loves books. Loves books.
Lots of books.
Somebody once said, famous Kendrick Lamar, there's a real world outside. Don't hold microwave dreams.
Yeah.
Go touch grass.
Please. Please go touch grass. Okay.
For
Speaking of going outside, but what happens when you go back inside? Anyways, if you could recommend a piece of media to young minds like your students, what would it be? You're just gonna say books again?
I will say
Oh my
books
God.
again. However, knowing that that's not entirely their native environment, going online and actually reading books, which you can get them all online too, but specifically in my subject area, getting kids to go online and just read 10 minutes a day in German. Doesn't matter if you understand it, just read it. Practice it. Say it out loud. Do it in English, because your English skills are struggling too. So just to go online and read 10, 15 minutes a day. Doesn't matter what.
Kind of clock just switch right there. I don't know if y'all knew that. I
Hmm?
don't know if y'all got that. Kind of clocks and people right there.
Yeah, just kind of.
So like subtle.
Some people need to be listening at this point. Some people need to open their ears.
Some of y'all need to read.
Some of y'all need to start with like the little pokey puppy, work your way up. Some of y'all.
Those books where it's like dog breeds.
And some of y'all need to start with like easy microwave home meals with Mrs. I don't know, Mrs. Who? What's her name?
I'm only thinking of Mrs. Doubtfire right now.
Mrs. Doubtfire. Easy microwave home meals for the young singles.
Yep. What was that? Who was it?
I
It
love
was something weird like Debbie Woody. It was what?
I love the cookbooks for like microwave.
You put it in.
It's always the
It's
worst
like-
stuff ever. It's like microwave salmon. It's gonna be rubbery.
And smell.
I mean,
Okay.
your microwave's not gonna recover.
Well, moving on.
Sorry to get off on the microwave
Oh.
conversation. Just something I'm really passionate about recently. Something I'm getting into.
What was a moment in your teaching career that you still remember that was a funny thing from your students? You should have a lot of that. I've heard some stories.
Bunch of weirdos.
I mean,
Well, yeah, I teach German. A lot of self-selection going on there. I'd say the funniest thing was, I don't know the assigned seats, but kids usually sit in their same seats all the time, and I had to go to the bathroom. So I was out of the room for like 3 minutes. I came back in. Everybody flipped. The whole room was the mirror image of itself. Like that they pulled that together that spontaneously and just came in and everybody played it off like nothing had changed.
I like that a
And just
lot.
waited for me to react. And I was like, that was awesome.
I love that so
You know
much.
what?
This is so stupid if I do it. I love things like that. We're just like making somebody like just think like, well, if I say something about it, then I sound weird. Did you guys like?
Like the
Yeah.
harmless, an actual harmless prank.
Yeah.
I just
That was just
stupid
silly
stuff
and
like
fun.
Bring back
Yeah.
funny harmless pranks.
that. Yeah.
That's actually good.
That was very good.
I'm gonna do that.
Take care of that.
I
I
like
love
to
that
get
all
one too.
those kids coordinated. It's hard to get a group of high schoolers
Yeah.
to do anything, but I love that they
That's
were.
what
they were-
impressed me too. Is like, and you guys just pulled it off in like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
I can't be mad at
They
y'all.
were just-
Right
Y'all
now.
work together.
They were just
There's nothing to be
that
mad
dedicated to
about.
the cause.
Yeah, they all work together. I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is pretty funny. Actually. We're probably gonna give somebody an idea watching this.
Yeah.
Like a middle schooler watching this.
Come in, all the desks are backwards. Everybody's just facing the back of the room, just doing their work. Everybody's.
Well, they're
That
doing their
would be
work. That'd be
funny.
cool.
They're just not looking at you anymore.
I mean,
That's
but
fine,
then like
right?
the
Just-
teacher would see everything on their screens, and some people have things to hide.
Yeah. Okay, I gotta ask this. I think about this a lot. But as a teacher, is your room set up to where all the desks are facing you? Isn't that just the norm?
Yeah, well, they're sort of set up in groups, so
Okay.
some people are facing the back. I mean, as long as they can all see the boards where I'm giving notes or the monitor in the front when we're doing work on that. But they're in groups, so
Have you ever set up your room to where all the desks are just facing you particularly?
like me, like
Yes.
facing the teacher
Yes.
desk. No,
Okay, because I feel like that's weird. Because teachers who do that, like, do you not like feel like people like looking at you sometimes?
No.
Because I feel like I try not to look my teacher in the eyes if I'm just doing my work. It's like I try not to but it's kind of hard when I'm looking at them and I'm like just looking around and like, do they feel like is this not weird for them? Like having like 30 people just kind of
I mean, well,
looking.
you
directly
get
at
over
them?
it.
you know,
Okay.
there's always
You-
got to be that one person who's just.
It's like I feel like it's not even like because you could equate it to like speaking to an audience, but it's 30 like 14 to 18-year-old children
Mm-hmm.
looking at you,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like that's a very unique experience.
Do you ever have
Some
a
days.
Sometimes you're
Do you
just
ever
like,
have a student
what am
that
I doing?
like responds to you with their face like, yeah,
Yeah,
like
Okay.
they over respond?
overly active
Of course.
listeners.
How do you feel
I
about
love.
that? Do you
Ooh.
like that better than just?
If someone is engaged, you can work with that. If someone is disengaged, that's a lot harder because then you have to do the work to engage them first.
I feel like I'm not gonna lie. If I was a teacher and I saw a kid just constantly,
Overly active
I
listeners. Like,
I would look at
Oh,
them and I'd be like,
yes.
"Are you really listening to me, or are you just doing that?"
yeah.
'Cause
you-
I-
Yeah, well, you
would,
get an
like,
idea because then you just
start
ask them a
laughing.
question and then they have no idea what's going on. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, you're just playing
They
the
have an AirPod in their.
right.
They're just.
yeah, you're like, oh, the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. They're like, preaching to the choir.
I'm pretty.
Hey.
I hear you.
Been there, done that. I was like really into it. I don't know.
If you could create your own course, what would you have the students do? And this doesn't have to be just German.
Well, since I am the German program, I basically create my own course every day. So
Oh, get it.
I-
You're it. It's just
I'm
one-man
it.
show.
I'm a one-man show. I'm the whole
Wow.
thing. So I can do whatever I want, basically, as long as the kids are learning German and we're progressing along. So, yeah, that's why I've introduced physically taking notes. Starting second quarter, I flipped everything to do project-based learning to try to lay everything out and have the students engage at the level that they're willing to engage and with understanding that there are milestones and steps involved in it to create their end project. And some students have grabbed onto it and realized it's actually less work and they get organized, and other students have to support them a lot to get them organized and teach them what an outline is, teach them how to manage their time, teach them all these things that I expected high school students to know that they don't, which is fine. But going back to kids going to college, they don't have these skills going to college, so they got to start learning them somewhere. So yeah, I kind of do my own thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Put it in the clip.
I'm gonna do my own thing.
Here, this is a note for me later. I'm gonna put in the clip of Miles Morales being like, I'm gonna do one.
Is that copyrighted?
Is it? Oh yeah, Sony.
It's
does
for
not play about
education
their-
purposes. So we bypass the copyright law.
Sony, please don't kill us. Sony, I'm sorry.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not a big Sony fan, sorry. Just had to say that. Are they an enemy of the show?
Do you like what they create?
Okay, I really, rest in peace to my PS4 that blew up. But the PS4 is a divine product. Oh, is something funny? The PS2 is a great product. I bought my friend a PS1 last year. All great things. But Sony as a company, besides the PlayStation line, I'm not a fan of the PS5. So maybe just the PS5 is the enemy of the show? Are we comfortable saying that, or do we think that's too controversial?
I've never touched a PS.
It's digital only.
Xbox.
That's what I don't like. This is me from the future coming to say I've since been informed there is a disc version of the PS5. I would like to apologize to everyone at Sony who is hurt, and for the masses that I'm misinformed. But my argument still stands that digital console is stupid, but anyway.
Ew.
Yeah. And so then they'll, like, if you pay $40 for a game, then they can just remove it from the App Store, and then, like, I paid $40, you're gonna take my game?
That's an enemy of the show. Streaming services.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Physical media is a friend of the show.
Physical media is a friend of the show, yes. Digital only
Yes.
media is the enemy of the show. Document everything. Document everything.
Buy the DVDs, buy the VHSs, buy the books.
There are people that are, like, dedicated to that. There are people who just, like, put hours of just TV on VHS tapes.
Oh,
just to document,
those?
VHS tapes.
They do. There's, like, people that do that, like, just hours of TV.
It's like their hobby too. There's somebody
Yeah.
that started doing it in the 80s, and that's how we like still have ads from the 80s today, or like
Yeah.
TV shows.
Because
And, like,
VHS allowed us to do that.
VHS
Yeah.
was great. Bring back
Shout out
the
to
VHS,
VHS.
guys.
I love
Please,
VHS.
please, please, please. I love
Bring back
VHS.
VHSs. Is that like the next thing? You know how like vinyls were trendy? Like people are gonna start like walking
I really
around
brought
with
it
like,
back.
oh, I'm just carrying my pile of VHSs, being all artsy.
Well, they actually did bring it back at Spirit Halloween this year.
Oh, they did?
Except it was like decorative VHS tapes of like 80s
well,
movies.
people like the aesthetic of the VHS tape. People also like the aesthetic of the cassette.
I feel like I have a lot of VHSs and I watch them a lot. But I'm also spoiled in a way where I have a rich VHS player that rewinds it for me. So I don't have to do it myself or like get a
Is it like
VHS
highlights from like your Pee Wee football games so you can like study?
No, actually my Pee Wee softball games.
Oh yeah, so,
yeah.
I should have ran faster. We
Yeah.
could have won the game if I was
I
home.
should. Oh, I was 6 years old.
I wasn't concentrated. I didn't have my head in the game. I could have had a career. Could have had a scholarship lined up.
Mama didn't pull me out. That could have been great. Anyways, we should probably go back to the question.
Yeah, sorry. Lots of changes today.
Is there a teacher that influences your way of teaching to be one way, or did you go against a way of teaching? I mean,
like
you
this
create your
question.
own thing, so.
Yeah, but every teacher had teachers. So we always model ourselves after ones we liked and didn't like.
I never thought about that.
So I definitely enjoy Mr. Rockstraw, who was my high school history and psych teacher.
Oh.
Uh,
I love it when history teachers go into psychology.
and I definitely model it not to be Mr. Bushy, who was my honors history teacher and was just
I like that
awful.
you're name dropping because a lot of people won't name drop. I like that you will.
We're
Oh.
gonna.
Like anybody knows these people
Yeah,
down here?
yeah,
Come on, we're
exactly.
1,500 miles
Wait,
away from where I grew up.
Names?
No, Mr. Bushy's dead. And Mr. Rockstraw told him that I like him.
I think
We're friends on Facebook.
I'm still thinking about Mr. Bushy.
Yeah.
Bushy.
Yeah.
Do you think somebody bought him a bush one year?
I don't know. I
I
think it was
would.
just his last name. Maybe his forefathers were shrubbers. I don't know. So they were-
It's always teachers with. I hate to say this. Teachers are friends of the show, but you know I hate to say that there are bad teachers, but there's some people.
Of course
that,
there are.
that are just kind of curmudgeonly and
Mhm.
just like they enjoy the power of being able to be like mean to
Yeah.
younger people.
Mhm.
And there's people like that in every field. Like, you know, you've had bad managers at jobs that just
Right.
like the power of being able to bully people. But it's always the teachers, the bad teachers, that have the worst last names. And it's like, you're going to be mean to 16-year-olds and your last name is like Mr. Bushy? That's your
Well,
name?
we like
You think-
Mr. Bushy.
you
Mr.
think-
Bushy's a friend of the show.
Like, you think these people are cooking up?
Oh wait, is
wouldn't
he
have
the one
been.
that you didn't like?
No, Rockstraw would have been a friend
Okay,
of the show.
Rockshaw.
Friend of the show.
Yeah.
Rockshaw?
Rockstraw. Yeah.
Rock straw. You're a straw made out of rocks, and you're gonna bully me?
You're telling me?
I would, if I ever had a teacher like that with a last name, I would carve a straw out of a rock to give to him and be like, that's what I think.
What is it? What is it? Oh.
His last name is Rock Straw.
I forgot what a
Right.
straw was. I was thinking like a straw, like a piece of plant, like a straw of like hay. Like, he's not gonna know what that is. You give him a line. He's like, why would you do this? Please leave me alone.
It's like a metal straw, like it's rock.
Well, it's rock.
You know what that made me think of?
What?
It's corn. A big lump.
No, we're
I
not
talked
doing
about
this.
that in
I
years.
was talking about.
Anyways,
I
guys.
don't want to sound like a dork. I was thinking about, SpongeBob. He's like, it's a rock.
It's a rock.
Yeah.
What
This
happened to
guy
my
knows.
questions? I remember the last question anyways. I don't even need the questions. If y'all see me tap my phone, I'm not being disrespectful. I'm
Yeah.
looking at questions and my phone turns
No,
off.
I can see your phone right now. You're playing block glass.
Okay. Anyways.
Yeah.
The very last
That was a
question.
lie. That was a bit
What
right there.
change do you want to see come out of this podcast or the senior project as a whole? And then what do you actually think is gonna happen?
Yeah.
You don't need to lie to us. You don't need to lie.
It's okay.
Change would be, students invested in their future and being respectful and creating a school where education is actually fostered and sought after and encouraged. And what do I think the podcast will actually change? I'm going to be honest, not much. It's just another molecule of water in the ocean of content out there.
We're gonna actually become administrators, and we're gonna make.
Yeah, we're gonna work our way up the ranks.
Go for it.
No, I've been told so many times that people think I act like a teacher, and I'm gonna be a teacher. I can't let them be right. My 8th grade math teacher, I literally just wrote out my handwriting on her board, talking to people. She said, "That's what teachers do." Ma'am, I love her though.
What are you saying to me right now?
I'm like, ma'am,
Are you talking about Oh wait, I can't name.
you were there.
Yeah, I was gonna
You
say.
were
I
there.
was just like, I just had the memory. Like, it just hit me. I was like, wait. I just put the pieces together. It took me a minute.
Anyways, guys, I think we gotta wrap it up. Thank you so much, Herr Jarmulowicz, for
Sure.
agreeing to do this.
Despite the technical issues, thank you for being here through it all.
Thank you for being patient.
Despite me
A lot of
being
patience.
late.
That's part of teaching. A lot of patience.
I love the patience of all these teachers here. They just see us talking.
So many patients. You think he's a doctor?
That was horrible.
Thank you. Well, I work really hard, and just for you to just kind of throw that away from me. Like, that was a big moment for me. I was thinking about that all morning. That's why I was late, because I was.
You thinking about that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's some patience right there.
Yeah.
You were
Almost as
how
much as a
long?
doctor.
40 minutes late?
40 minutes. Yeah, 2 hours late. I came. I had a fireball.
This was supposed to be yesterday.
Firehouse, not fireball.
And you didn't show up, so we had to move it today.
Yeah. Really rude of me. Very
Anyways,
considerate. Yeah.
thank you guys for watching. We hope you liked the podcast.
Mm,
If you want to rewatch our episodes, go ahead. I guess I don't.
Please.
Pick your poison. I don't know. If you liked us, you can tell your friends about us.
Please.
That would be cool. And also, you can take the survey down below. It should be in the description, or it should be in the bio of this channel. Wherever you're watching, it should be somewhere. Just use critical thinking skills and look. We'd love for you to take the survey. Please, it's anonymous, but please be honest, and please don't put weird stuff. Please don't be weird.
Please don't be weird.
Anyways,
Be a little weird.
You get
You
a
don't.
little thing.
You don't. I mean, like a
Weird
little,
is interesting.
like a little like asterisk. Gasp. That'd be fine.
Yeah.
That type of weird, but I mean like fully going off. Literally, a question is, what grade are you in, and just going off about how your mother used to yell at you.
Be respectful.
Maybe not.
How about that? Let's be modest in this survey.
We're not therapists. We're not trained.
We can't help you.
You know, one psychology
We're not
class is gonna
sustainable.
cut it. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and we hope to, I don't know, maybe see you again.
Who's to say?
Bye.
Bye.
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh,
Dun, dun, dun,
the
dun,
iconic
dun, dun.
outro.